Hi my love, welcome to another video in my channel. My name is Estefania and today I'm going to teach you 8 ways that will help you live a life of more fulfillment, more joy, more happiness, according to a beautiful seminar I heard from Deepak Chopra about Buddha's 8 steps to Marga, or the way or the life of fulfillment. Number 1 says, change your view and your perception. So the step number 1 is huge, because when you change your perception of the world and when you start seeing the world differently, you begin to experience life differently. And so I've gone through this process in the past 2 to 3 years where I've changed my perception through all the stuff I'm learning in my certifications, and I want to invite you to do the same. And how do you change your perception? Well, the first thing is you make the choice to see life from a perspective of a connection with the divine, a connection with positive things and with beautiful things, a connection with love. And once you do that, you begin to seek wisdom, you begin to seek understanding of why things happen the way they happen, why people behave the way they behave, and you start really learning about causes and effects of people's behaviors, of life's events. And that way, when you seek that understanding, your perception starts to change and you start to accept life as it comes more, instead of wanting to control life so much. And so my invitation to you, step number 1, is to start changing the glasses with which you see the world, and start seeing the world from a perception of love more than of ego, and start really seeking spirituality and learning. Because when you learn more and you become wiser through experience or through study or seeking, spiritual connection, you are able to see things differently, to have more patience, to have more love, and to really not suffer so much. And so one example that really brings this step number 1 home is, your perception will affect the way you feel and will affect the way you experience life. Because, there's people who are, imagine someone is in a palace, beautiful palace, the most amazing palace you could ever imagine. And they have pools, they have food, they have servants, they have beautiful rooms and spaces where they can experience life and live. But this person who's in this palace is miserable inside. They don't have gratitude for what they're experiencing. They don't see the beauty in the palace. If you're having a miserable life inside, you won't be able to experience what's outside. And so your perception, which is in this case a perception of misery or suffering, won't allow this person to enjoy the palace. So think about that. And if there might be someone in this example that is in a shack, but it's not worrying about the outward appearance of the place, the people, and they're having the time of their life. Why? Because their inner world is in a perception, is perceiving the outside world with love, with joy, and with happiness. So you may be in a palace and have a miserable time, or you may be in a shack and have an amazing time, all due to the way you perceive the world. So think about that, guys. I think it's a huge example that really made me understand this very well. So try to think about it that way, and it will make it a lot easier to see how your perception affects your life experience. Okay, let's go to step number 2, correct thinking. It's important for us, in order to fulfill our dreams, to live a life of success, a life of contribution, and a life of fulfillment, to question our thinking. And what I want you to do is to always ask yourself, every time you get a new thought into your mind, because we have millions of thoughts coming in and out all the time, and throughout a day we can experience so many different thoughts that are, some are crazy, some are good, some are annoying. I want you to always categorize your thoughts into, put them in 2 categories. When a thought comes to you, say, is this thought coming from love, or is this thought coming from fear? Those are the 2 levels of thinking. And I want you to always filter your thoughts based on those 2 things. Is it coming from love or fear? Because if your thoughts are coming from fear and you continue to feed those thoughts that are not coming from God, from the divine, they're coming from a different place of fear, what happens? You get anxious, you get, things go down that route, and you continue to strengthen that thought by dwelling on it. And so what grows? Fear grows. So if the thought is coming from fear and you dwell on it, you are going to get more fear. But if you start being more aware of your thoughts, and you say, well, oh, this thought came from love, maybe something about helping someone, you want to listen to that thought. You want to act on that thought, because that's your spirit guiding you. So anything that comes from love, I want you to dwell on it. I want you to dwell on the good, dwell on the love, and let those thoughts that come from something good really grow in you and guide your actions. Okay, so that's an easy way to have correct thinking. And another way to have correct thinking is to fill your environment with positive things, beautiful things, and filter out the negative. Of course, there's going to be things that are not all roses and beauty all the time, but when you surround yourself with positivity, with people who speak love, who speak words of wisdom, who speak words of love, you start filling your mind with that, and you start filling your life with it. So you're thinking, it's easier for you to think of good things, right? And so this step is huge. However, I'm not saying that you want to avoid all negative things and you want to like make a bubble and ignore the suffering of other people. No, what I'm saying is fill your life with positive and beautiful things, so that when something negative happens, when there's thoughts of fear in your mind, you're able to see the contrast, and you can, because you're so aligned with the love and the light, you can bring some light into the darkness. That maybe friends come to you and they talk to you about things that are hard in their life, you can bring some light into their life, right? It's not about shunning negativity or fear. It's about bringing light into other people's lives by filling first our lives with love, light, and beautiful things. Okay, so start practicing that. Are my thoughts coming from fear? Are my thoughts coming from love? And is my life a source of positive things? Am I surrounded by positive messages on TV, on my phone, at work? Or am I surrounded by messages or words that bring me fear, bring me anxiety? Once you identify that, you want to start shifting towards the beautiful thoughts, the beautiful life, positive messages, and start from there. Okay, my love? All right, so let's go to step number 3. Step number 3 is develop spontaneous right speech. And Buddha tells us this, and it's interesting because in the Bible we also see this, and it's beautiful because our words have power. And I've talked about this before in my videos, and if you follow me, you know this. Our words have power, so it's important that we develop spontaneous right speech. Of course, sometimes we're gonna fall into the trap and we're gonna say bad words, we're gonna curse, we're gonna say something we didn't mean. But my invitation to you is to start practicing right spontaneous speech, like speech that flows and is full of beauty, full of love, full of support and empowerment. Most of the time, as much as you can, because we're human, and I can tell you that I still have wrongful speech, and sometimes I say things I shouldn't say, and you know, it's bad. But it's a matter of us finding balance and growing as we go. It's not about being perfect, okay? So what I want you to do is to listen. The first thing is to listen with love. Many times we listen to people and we react like, and we just jump at them, right? Because we don't even give them time to finish the sentence. Or we listen and we filter the thing that they told us in a way that's like aligned with what we were thinking, or in a defensive way. So I want you to start listening with love and actually paying attention to what people are saying before you react. You'll see how that's going to change your reactions and your words back to them so much. And I tell you, this will help you if you're married or you have a boyfriend or a partner. This is gonna help you because it's helped me. I used to snap like this to my husband, and it created a lot of drama. But nowadays, I'm like, okay, calm down. Let's listen to what he's saying, and let's just listen with love. Okay, it's hard at times, but I know you can do it, and it's a process that you can build up into. Okay, because I've done it. So number 2 is speech can heal or can destroy. Remember, the words you say to someone will heal them or will destroy them. And not only what we say to others, but what we say to ourselves on a daily basis, our inner dialogue shapes the way we feel. So start watching out for your speech. Is your speech, your inner dialogue, a healing inner dialogue? The language, the words you use to think about yourself, is it healing? Is it bringing love? Or is it destroying you? Are you always looking at yourself in the mirror and saying things like, oh, I look so fat today, oh, my hair's so ugly today? How are you handling your inner dialogue? How are you talking to yourself? And I'm going to say this because, hey, guess what? We're stuck with ourselves. You're stuck with yourself for your whole life, so you better create a beautiful relationships. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. So you got to deal with you. Can't get rid of you, right? So ask yourself, is my speech healing or is my speech destroying? Okay? It counts for how you speak to yourself inside, how you treat yourself, and how you speak to others and how you treat others. Of course, we're not looking for perfection. I'm not asking you to always say the right thing, always be the perfect person. No, but try as much as possible to heal with your words, okay, instead of destroying. Now, the third thing in this developing spontaneous right speech step, which is the third step, is to respond with peace instead of fight or flight. Because it's what I was saying before. We usually listen to a partner, to a coworker, to a child, and we just snap, right? Because that's our tendency as humans. You know, we're in a hurry all the time. And now, so my suggestion to you in this step is to actually take the time to listen with peace and to respond with peace, and just really have an attitude of like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this, I'm gonna filter what this person told me, even if the person's like aggravating you, and I'm gonna like just relax and give up the need to be right all the time. By doing that, if you give up the need to be right and to win every argument, you're able to find the peace of like, you know what, this person might have said that, but I don't care, and I'm not gonna engage in a whole dramatic interaction and all this stuff just to be right. I'm just gonna respond with peace and avoid fight or flight. I'm just gonna be like, okay, yeah, if that's your opinion, I accept it. Like, it's hard. I have to tell you, like, sometimes you're like, I hate that. I want to like get even at this person. I want to win this argument. But I can tell you that the best way to live, and the way to happiness and the way to fulfillment is the way of peace. So try responding with peace. I know it's hard sometimes, especially when your husband gets a little crazy. That's my experience. Okay, my love. So that's number 3. Let's go to number 4. Right action. Number 4 is like, make sure that you take the right action as often as possible. And what does that mean? I don't think Buddha meant to like be a perfect person and not like do anything wrong. What he means is like, no, don't worry. Every time you're doing something, don't worry about, is this gonna work? Is this gonna get me to my goal? Is this gonna like make that thing that I want happen faster? Or is this gonna make that person love me more? Is this gonna allow me to like get that job? No, what Buddha is trying to say, from my opinion, my humble opinion, I may be wrong, who knows, but this is what I want to teach you, is that he's trying to encourage you to do the best that you can with what you have from where you are. So if you're in a job that you don't like now, try to do that job as well as you can. Try to do that job in the best way possible. Take impeccable action in school, at work, with your business, with your family. Make sure you do the best job you can, and then leave the rest up to God to handle things and to align things for you in your favor, okay? Number 5 is right livelihood. Right livelihood talks about living in a way that nurtures the ecosystem, nurtures the world, protects the environment, and also nurtures your body. Living in a way where you take care of yourself and your home and the world. Because, if we don't take care of our bodies, we ain't gonna get new ones when we go to the store, right? That's one thing you can't get. So take care of yourself, take care of the planet, and that's what Buddha is trying to show us, to just live as if we're connected, because we are, to everything else in the universe. Which is beautiful, right? And so number 6 says, have diligence. Make sure your efforts are pointed towards something, right? Because we don't want to live life just, I'm going to work and I'm going to study and I'm going to go to the store for no reason. We don't want to be like feathers that the wind just takes and blows and, tosses around. We want to make sure that what we're doing every single day has a purpose, and that our efforts are pointed towards something, okay? So I think that's interesting, having diligence in your family life, your finances, your career, your passion, your spirituality. Having a pointed effort and diligence will change the way you achieve fulfillment. Because when you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, you're able to feel like you're moving forward, okay? And that's a feeling that we need to experience. to be able to have a happy life. Okay. And number seven, I love it because he calls it meditation. And people may think it's like, go meditate every day. No, that's not really, I don't think that's what he meant. I'm pretty sure he suggested meditation as a part of like a prayer. And I know other religions have like prayers and meditations that they do. I know in the Catholic faith we do pray and like meditate on the word, which I love. But another thing that besides doing prayer and meditation that I really like is that Buddha encourages us to find who are our heroes. Like throughout history, who do we look up to? And what do we admire about those people? Like for me, I really admire Martin Luther King. I really admire Nelson Mandela. I really admire Mother Teresa, because they're people who inspire me. And so if you have any heroes, any people in your life that you admire, I want you to ask yourself, why do you admire them? What attributes of those heroes do you like? And realize that the things that you admire in them are things that you have within you that you can exploit to really bring the best out of yourself and really get to a level where you're contributing with the world and doing big things. So ask yourself, who are your heroes? Find out why you admire them, and those attributes are probably things that you like. And then Buddha also encourages us to find out what are your skills, what are the things you do really well, and what are your gifts, so that you can learn how to use those gifts that are only given to you in a special way to serve society and to serve others. So once you realize who are your heroes, they give you clues about who you are and what you like, and then you realize, oh, what are your skills, what are your gifts, and you start making choices and aligning your life in a way that allows you to use your gifts and your talents to serve society. And that, my friends, is like one of the highest levels of fulfillment based on your 5 human needs, where you find that you're growing because you're using your skills to do something, and you're contributing to the world by giving out your talents. So meditation is step number 5, which is the one we just talked about, and it's about that, about finding who your heroes are and about what your skills are, so that you can know how to use them to serve others. Beautiful, right? So number 8 is the last one. It's mindfulness, and this is about being in the moment and enjoying life. And for me, mindfulness has been about learning to let go and let God, and let go of anxiety, and really just enjoy the day as it is and the present as it is. So what I encourage you to do with this is to let go of worry and try to like really ground yourself in the present moment. Appreciate what's happening now. Appreciate what you're living in this moment, instead of worrying so much about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in 9 months, what's going to happen when I'm older, how is this situation going to be resolved. I invite you to let go of control and be mindful of what's happening now. Take one day at a time and let God deal with the rest while you're taking right action. So do what you can, and then let God deal with the difficult things. Okay, so that's what mindfulness means to me. Enjoying the present, trusting in God that He's going to help you in whatever things are worrying you, trusting that God is going to heal your past and that He's going to take care of your future, and being grateful for the present. Okay, that's what mindfulness means to me. And those are the 8 steps to the marga, or the way of life that Buddha described. I love it because it's very much in alignment with many things that I've learned in my own, certifications and learning, my own journey, and in my religion, which is the Catholic faith. So I'm gonna recap them for you before we go. So step number 1 is change your view, change your perception. Number 2 is have correct thinking. Number 3 is develop a spontaneous right speech. Watch what you say. Number 4 is take right action. Do your best where you are with what you have. Okay. Number 5 is develop a right livelihood, a good livelihood. Number 6 is have diligence. Make sure your efforts are pointed towards something. Number 7 was meditate and find out what you're good at and how you can use your gifts to serve others. Number 8 is mindfulness. Develop mindfulness and be present, enjoy life, and make sure that you know that this moment that you're living right now is a gift. Okay, loves, I hope this video serves you. I hope you loved it. If you did, make sure you share, because you never know who may benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel below, and I will see you in the next video. Remember, you were made for greatness. Bye bye.